Hi class, today we're going to be editing together our audio for project 3. You will need at least 15 seconds of edited audio for this project, and you will need 3 different sources. So one will be recorded audio, so you can record your own voice just like I'm doing, or you can record yourself making music or the sound of wind passing by. You will need some music, which you can, again, record yourself if you are a musician or know musicians, but you can find that online as well. And you will need a sound effect, which you can find out in the world or on the computer. Once you have all of your sources gathered, we'll take those over to Adobe Audition and begin to piece them together. So let's head over to the computer. Audition is one of my favorite programs in the Adobe suite. I think it's one of the most user-friendly, and it just flows well in a way that some of the other programs don't. So I find it's kind of a relief to use, and I hope you'll feel the same after this tutorial. So for our assignment, we will need to gather different sound sources. So you can do that by recording your own sounds, and also by following any one of these audio links on the Canvas page. I think Bensound is a good one for music. BBC Sound Library is another fun one. The YouTube audio library is really good for sound effects. I find the music can be a little bland on here. And also, if you want to source something from, let's say, YouTube, you can absolutely do that, but you will need to be really careful with how much you source. So try not to source any more than 5 seconds from anything copyrighted, and everything on YouTube and TikTok, any place like that, is copyrighted. So once you have something you want to download, you can go and get a YouTube to MP3 converter online. I've had some luck with Y2Mate. These things do break, so you may have to go looking for one of them and download here. If it says anything about like your computer has a virus, just cross out of that. It doesn't, just move on. And once you have those sounds all sourced, come back over here to Audition and we can get started. So the first thing I want to do is bring in some sounds. So I'm going to go to File and Import. And I'm just going to grab several of these sounds just to try them all out. And I'll hit open. You can see all of these sounds appear over here on the left in your library. This library works just like all the other libraries you've used before. They're kind of saved over here, but they're not actually, you're not looking at any of the ones except for the one you have highlighted. Clicking on any of one of them will bring up the waveform over here to the right. So the waveform shows visually how loud your sound is over time. The taller the waveform, the louder it is. Decibels are the measuring unit for sound, or for loudness. They go from 0 to -15. So -15 is very, very quiet, and 0 is peaking out the mic and is unpleasantly loud. So you'll want to probably stay somewhere in the -6 to -12 average. Going up to like -3, -2 for something loud is totally fine. And loudness, what we perceive loudness, is a big change from really quiet to really loud. So it really matters how loud your sounds are in comparison to the other sounds you have in your soundscape. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you, and I'm going to show you what it looks like if you change your decibels here. So you can see that you can make things much, much quieter. You can also do this in a controlled way, so you can make one section louder. So this could be helpful if you're maybe wanting to hear someone talk and you want to make some sections quieter and some sections louder. You can also apply effects to any one of these sounds. So if we go over here to our effects rack, this will show us what effects we have. Right now I have none, but I'll put one on here. So I'm going up to the effects tab and I'm going to put on a delay. Let's go ahead and apply. Okay, sorry, it took a minute here to come on over, but you can see now that the effects are over here. So if we turn them all off, it will sound normal, and we can turn them back on. If something has an asterisk next to it, that means that it has some unsaved change on it. So you'll want to go ahead and double check before you exit out of Adobe Audition that you have no unsaved changes. So finally, I want to go ahead and take us over to the multi-track editor. So the multi-track editor you can access right here. Just click on that. You'll need to give it a name. So I'm going to just call this demo and hit OK and make sure you like where it's going. I will overwrite my demo. Okay, so now we have sort of a layer-based outlook here, or layer-based interface here. So each one of these tracks can be moved around just like the visual layers we've used in the past. So I'm going to bring in two different sounds for us, and maybe this. All right, so let's play this and see what it is.
Boing, boing, boing.
So you can see how one layer is playing on top of another layer. This is really powerful because you can change these and cut them around and move them independently. So I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what I mean. So this layer that I have highlighted, I'm going to hit Command K. Command K. And now I can move this section later in the composition. So I'll do this.
Boing, boing. Boing.
So that's kind of fun, but I find that the music isn't quite loud enough. So I'm going to change that. I can just move my bar here up and down to change the volume. But I can actually do this in a more nuanced way by creating nodes. So if I click on this line, I can make nodes wherever I like and ramp up and ramp down. So I'll do it fairly extremely so you can see what I'm talking about.
Boing, boing. Boing.
So there you go. And if you just think something is too loud overall, you can move the whole line down. Oop, there we go. Okay, so over here on the track as well, we have a couple options. So this M here stands for mute. So you can no longer hear a track if it is muted.
Boing, boing.
It will export this way if you have it muted. So if you want to hear something, make sure it is not. S stands for solo. That means the only track you will hear is that track. So I can bring in another track so you can see when it is soloed, you only hear that track. And R is for record. I'm not going to hit record right now because I am already recording and it will be a mess. However, if you want to record directly into Audition, you absolutely can. It's a great place to do that. So when you have all of your sounds mixed together and you're happy with the results, you can export these by hitting File, Export, Multi-Track Mixdown, Entire Session. And the format you want to export it at will depend on what you're using for your animation software. So if you're using Adobe Animate, use a WAV. If you are using Procreate, do an MP3. So it's up to you. Make sure you save it as something that you like and that you like where you send it. And when you hit OK, it will send that file over there for you. You will also want to save the project as the SESX, which is the file format native to Adobe Audition, so that you can go back and make changes if you need to. So I hope that that was a clear and brief demo. I hope you have fun making your soundtracks, and I can't wait to hear them. Bye.